today is also 8 key warning signs that you may be heading for burnout within the next 12 months. I created up this framework, if you want, the sentence about well-being, that it's your ability to flourish physically, mentally, and emotionally, no matter what the circumstances. All too often, we have a look at trying to control everything around us in order to influence how we feel. But what if it's actually all from internal, and how you feel will indicate how or dictate how you'll react to the world around you? Because here's a key message I'm going to share with you today. Existing employee well-being programs have failed. They've failed. The statistics show it. Burnout is on the rise. Quiet quitters are on the rise. Engagement's down. Stress and depression are up. Suicide is up. This is the reality of the world we're living in. Hi there. My name is Tim Wagner. I'm an international speaker and high-performance coach. And what I often speak about is that point where people hit overwhelm, where stress, anxiety, and dis-ease impact their personal and business life. Now, I'm into regenerative health, and as a hospitality professional for 27 years before I had to quit because of burnout, or feelings of burnout, I help teams to escape the relentless cycle of stress, to reclaim clarity, energy, and balance in life. And my key secret ingredient, breath work, as I use breathing techniques as a catalyst to create a state of change in people, as I believe we can all stress less and live and lead far more productive lives, impacting and being more successful, so fulfilling ourselves and those around us, both at work and home. So, do you know who's burning out in your organization right now? They're potentially hiding it. They're smiling. They've got a mask on. I'm going to speak about that just now. Quietly fading away. They're producing the work, they're turning up, but they're not really there and fully engaged. If you didn't have anybody, we wouldn't be talking. You've got a lot of people. Perhaps you'll recognize some of these signs I'm going to share with you in your own self, in your own story. You see, my story was 27 years in hospitality until I became a quiet quitter. I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know why I was exhausted. I didn't know why I was numb. I didn't know why I was losing my identity. I didn't really have relationships with my family and my wife. How I'm still married after so many years. Well, that's a miracle in itself. And I'd lost relationships with my clients and with my team. I went to my narcissistic boss. He didn't care or even notice. That did not go down well. I left without a plan, but I had no choice, or I thought I had no choice, because this incessant amount of stress had dimmed my soul. I was just disappearing. So I went in search of my authentic self. And after 3 years, I found my calling, that I now speak and coach other high-functioning teams to say, there is another way. You can avoid the silent slide from well-being to burning out. But it was my big breakthrough that came to me in 2024 when I read an article by Professor Kibler from Harvard. And he described a state of emotional exhaustion, where high performers seem fine on the outside, but are internally disconnecting from their work until they suddenly and unexpectedly quit. Now, Kibler calls this state brownout. He talks about the stage where you're sitting and you're either going to slide into burnout, or, like me, you're going to quietly quit. And a recent client told me, when I was sharing this feeling, this sensation, this unknown space between anxiety and burnout, and she said to me, this is the first time somebody's actually understood and explained to me how I feel. I know I'm not alone, and I now know there's a name for this. But I'm a curious creature. I need to have a system or a structure. So I went and created one, and I call it the Wellbeing Curve. Let me bring this up for you quickly. Now, the Wellbeing Curve is here to help you identify where you are from a state of thriving in the top left section there, where you're high energy and high productivity, sliding slowly down when you've gone through the stresses and the anxieties, sitting in that stage of unknown, of brownout, sliding then into completely dysfunctional, unproductive, no energy of burnout. I've come to call this stage authenticity brownout syndrome. And ABS, for short from authenticity brownout syndrome, signals a complete misalignment between who you are and how you show up, resulting in this quiet disengagement that erodes innovation, resilience, and culture from within. Because you're wearing a mask. You turn up every day. You present yourself to how you believe or feel those around you need to act. So you put on this mask. It feels like you're being pulled like an elastic band. And I remember this sensation. On one end was this soul that I was living, this person, this existence, this inauthentic person. And on the other end was my genuine character. And the problem was, the harder I worked, the more I got pulled away. It was like that elastic band. And if I was not careful, that band would snap. Burnout. So instead of that band snapping, I let go. But I didn't know what was going on.